Hello, and welcome to The Importance of Performance with Aiden Palmer, where I interview musicians and actors to truly understand the benefits of performance. Today's guest is Dr. Brandon Stover of Renaissance Secondary School. Hey, how are you doing?
Hello.
First, could you tell me a little about what you do?
Well, I've been the music teacher here at Renaissance for the past 4 years, where I started the music program. We do band and choir. I also do taiko drumming, all kinds of different music things.
Taiko drumming, you said.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
nice. And can you tell me a little bit about your experience overall in music?
Yes, I started, I think, in second grade with piano lessons, and then in fifth grade with saxophone, and then bought a trumpet in high school, went and did music education for my undergraduate, did ethnomusicology for my graduate, where I started learning the shakuhachi and had to perform it for the first time after 3 months of, no, I guess about 6 months of learning it. And then got a PhD also in ethnomusicology. So I've done quite a bit of music background, performing, and been teaching for, 14 years or so.
14 years. Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's quite a bit of experience for sure.
Yes.
How did you really discover your passion or interest in music and playing?
I think it was in middle school, early high school. I just enjoyed learning about music, making music, performing music with others. I think that was my big thing. I know by my freshman year of high school, I decided I wanted to go into music education. And my dad actually tried to talk me out of it he said, "Don't you want to go into science or something else that makes money?" And I said,
Really? Okay.
No, I want to do music. So.
I do want to ask, how often do you actually perform live for other people?
More recently, it's been less. I perform for my students and with my students a lot. I guess if you say me getting up and conducting or leading a group is performing, then, every few months.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But otherwise, performing kind of as a solo musician, not as much. I don't know, it's maybe every couple of years now, but yeah.
What would you describe is the definition of performing?
Yeah, I think putting yourself out there, allowing yourself to be judged by an audience member. You have to remember, too, the audience is there both for entertainment and to support the performer, usually, especially young or up-and-coming performers. The audience, whether you play the right notes or the wrong notes or sing the right, right or wrong, the audience is still going to consider it a success because you put yourself out there. And I think learning how to perform is probably the most important thing. Just being able to get out in front of people, to not have that stage fright, to be able to put it away. Because when I get out there, I think I still am a little bit scared. I kind of, not quite black out, but I don't see the audience anymore. They're just kind of a blank canvas out there, and I'm just going through what I've always been doing. So, I realize, like, hey, I've done this every few months. It'll be fine. So, yeah.
So you'd say, like, through your experience, you've learned, you said one of the most important things is actually learning how to perform, and it kind of gets you out of your shell in a way. Is that what you're saying? Or
yeah, especially in Japanese arts, there's kata, which is like you would learn how to walk out onto stage and how to bow and how to sit and how to do all this other stuff that we don't always teach. We try to go through it here at Renaissance, but sometimes it gets forgotten. But I think the more you do it, right, the easier it becomes. You just keep going through it, and you kind of go into the mode. Like if you're a runner, after that first mile might be tough, but then you kind of get into a flow. The same thing with performing. Once you start to perform more, it gets easier and easier, right? You just kind of have to push yourself up over that first initial hill.
Yeah, I agree. That is actually what my project is about.
Yes.
It's really just trying to show people how beneficial it is, how performance helps really just get you out there, and the connections that you build through it can really improve a lot of mental health and just overall well-being.
Yeah, I think to speak to when you're out there performing, it can be this kind of scary, uncomfortable situation, but I think the kind of high that you get afterwards very much outdoes it. Like I'm always like, yes, that was a good performance. I'm glad I did that. Leading up to it, I'm nervous. I get a little jittery. I get a little like, I
but
have to do this,
the adrenaline while you're actually performing is nice too. Yeah.
Yes, the flow, right? There's a psychological concept of flow, and the flow state of when you get into doing something that you really enjoy, like music in my case, you lose track of time, and all of a sudden an hour's gone by and the concert's over, and you're like, oh, I just started, I thought. But
Yeah. Could you elaborate maybe just a little bit more on that, actually? I think it's really interesting.
Yes, so it's Mihai Csikszentmihalyi who came up with or wrote a lot about the idea of flow. And basically, when you're doing something that you really enjoy, time is no longer ticking away 1 second at a time, right? You lose track of yourself, you lose track of what's going on around you, and you just kind of go into this kind of hyper-focused state, and you are really enjoying it, and you're really liking it, and so you're not noticing what's going on around you, you're not noticing time. It moves at different rates. Oftentimes it moves like faster than you think, whereas if there's something that you don't like, you can hear that tick, like tick, tick, right? It's really slow. It seems to move slower. So you get into a flow state, and that's when, like, kind of professional musicians, actors, they get into this flow state, and that helps them to get through their performance and to really to enjoy it and to connect with the audience. And
yeah, for sure. Okay, that's good to know. I was even unaware of that. And I'm your student. Well, another topic here. I do have a question. Do you like seeing others perform? Like, how often do you see them perform, and do you enjoy it? Is it not really your thing, or?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of mixed. I probably go to fewer performances than others, like outside of the ones that I have to go to, like have to be at because I'm performing. But it's not that I don't enjoy them. I think the hard part for me is that music has become kind of this academic thing and a way of making money and a way of life. And so I would say that I probably think about and analyze music different from, say, other people. So sometimes when I'm at a concert, it's hard for me to turn off my brain, other performances of others, and say like, oh, I really like that, I want to do that, or oh, I would do that different if I was doing that, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it helps me to be a better performer myself and a better teacher, but also just remembering that each person is in a different state in their performance lives. Some of them, this is their first performance, so I really want to be supportive. Others of them have been performing lifelong, so maybe I want to see them or support them before they leave the world behind. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? Let me throw this at you. Do you really enjoy the process of like the work that you do? I guess you say you're a director, correct?
Yes.
And so, how much work do you put into that as a whole? Do you think it takes up a lot of your time? And do you enjoy the process of it?
Like the process as in getting ready, or the process as in like doing the performance itself?
I guess getting ready, preparation process. Yeah.
Yeah. What I really enjoy is when the pieces start to fall together, right? I dislike when we pass out a new piece of music and like I have to, the band or the choir and we have to get through it. We have to learn it together. We have to kind of get it under our belts. But once we start to learn notes, learn parts, get that stuff down, then we can start to make music. And I think that's where the real butter zone is, right? There's a challenge when you're, especially a teacher, but any kind of like director or leader of a group, to have your group ready at just the right exact amount of time. And I think what happens sometimes is that ensembles, they peak early, right? They have their best performance or their best show, maybe a few days or a few weeks before the actual concert, and then they kind of go on a downslope up to the performance. And likewise, you might peak too late if the music, in my case, is too difficult. And so when you're at the concert, it's still very nerve-wracking and very kind of, you get that feeling of like, we should have practiced for a few more days or a few more hours to get this down. So it kind of comes and goes. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. It depends on the repertoire that I pick out, and as well kind of the effort that the group puts into it.
Yeah. So, and that's just kind of how things go overall too. I mean, not everything's going to be just a constant high, or just, there's challenges in everything.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's always, like, even after you perform it, you can always make things better. And I think that's one thing that's tricky to kind of get your head around, the idea that, I did this, I performed it, it was great, but or sometimes we think, oh, it was terrible, it was the worst thing ever, right? But like, we put ourselves out there, we performed, we did something that's not easy to do. We learned this music, and we got it ready for others, and they hopefully enjoyed it. Yes, there's always things that we can fix and do better for next time. But I think as a performer, the biggest thing is when you do a performance, learn, like, what did I enjoy? Let me do that again. What did I not enjoy, or what went wrong? Let me fix that for next time. So learning, like, oh yeah, I need to do this. Oh yeah, I need to do that. Or I really liked this. Let me get that in there again. Start that on that process that way.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I do have one more question for you. After everything that we've really talked about this whole time, can you just try your best to name just one thing that's like the most important? Is there one thing that's the most important about performance?
The one thing that's most important about performance, I think I encourage, just getting out there and doing it, right? The more that you do it, the more it's going to become second nature to you. The more you're going to be comfortable with it, right? And it always might be just a little bit uncomfortable, and kind of living in that uncomfortable state is okay, right? To help you build resiliency, to help you be kind of a well-rounded person and performer as well. So I think looking for opportunities to perform in different groups, different genres, different ensembles, different makeups, different ages, all of that, kind of branching out will really help you out as well, to see how other people do it. If you can watch, and learn from them, that'll make you a better person and a better performer yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your insight into the world of music and performance. And everyone, I hope to see you on the next episode of listening to the importance of performance with Aidan Palmer. Thank you, Dr. Stover, again.
Well, thank you.
Have a great day.
Yes.